Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. This is Monday, January 16th. If you have any questions or business with us, this body, come up to one of these microphones, get your name and address, and we'll see if we can figure out what your concern might be. Ask for the roll call, please.
Cedar.
Here.
Ellery.
Here.
Kinswater.
Here.
Kleeman.
Here.
Koopa.
Here.
Report.
Here.
McCartney.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. One number 4 is the consent agenda, City Council minutes of January 3rd, 2007, regular meeting recommendation approved, and B, the St. Clair Historical Commission minutes, November 10th, 2016, meeting recommendation received.
Motion to approve A and B as presented.
Support.
Is there any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're going to go to ordinances resolution, 5A. It's an introduction, payment in lieu of taxes, Palmer Park Manor.
See if we can maybe start with Mr. Downey.
Your Honor, I can take that. This matter is back before City Council after being discussed last year. There was a question, I believe, raised by Councilmember Kinswater about an activity very similar to this that occurred in the city of Marysville. And as a result of the question raised, we investigated, proposed an ordinance, prepared an ordinance, which had a couple of variables that we had not resolved. That ordinance with the corrections or revisions to it is before the City Council tonight. Essentially, because Housing Commission property is exempt from taxation, the Michigan State statute allows for a payment in lieu of taxes for up to 10% of all rents that are collected by a local housing commission. And this ordinance would allow the City of St. Clair to do that.
This is the same as what Marysville did, correct?
It is.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll support.
All right, the motion is made to support. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. What, I guess, how could the city, I know on the last ordinance they created about the rental, registering rentals in the city, Housing Commission said they didn't participate in it. What can the city stand so that this holds?
I'm sorry, Mr. Clement, I'm not sure I understood the question.
The last ordinance about the registering the rentals and charging so much a rental. The Housing Commission said they were exempt from it. Now, what's going to keep them from saying they're exempt from this?
As your first point, I'm not sure I know that to be true. I'll take it as true if you say so. I'm not aware that they've claimed that they're exempt from our inspection ordinance. But as to the second part of your question, they are not exempt from this ordinance if it were to be adopted by City Council, because it is, the right to do so is created under state law. This is, I believe it's section 11A of the statute. I don't have that at my fingertips, but it's something that other communities are able to do by operation of state law.
Jim, do you want to say anything on this?
Only if you would like me to.
Sure, I'd like you to.
Mayor and Council, I'm Jim Dewey, the Executive Director for Port Huron Housing Commission, Marysville Housing Commission, and now St. Clair Housing Commission. Yep, the pilot is something that's state law. It can be done. How that works is by the rents, as Mr. Downey has mentioned. It's 10% of your sheltered rents. So it's actually your rent. So let's say if you have $200,000, it's actually in rents, it's 10% of that, but it's also minus the utilities that are paid out on their behalf. So it's allowed. What it is really a pass-through from HUD to us to you. So we put that in our subsidy on a yearly basis. If so, let's say we owe you $20,000. That's kind of what we pay in Marysville on a yearly basis. Then we put that in our subsidy for HUD, and HUD pays us that $20,000 the following year back, and then we pay you again. So we're always a year in arrears with HUD, but they pay that through because it is a allowable expense. You could have been doing it from the time they started. Port Huron has enacted it from the day they started back in 1967. So it's just your choice.
Retroactive, can we go retroactive?
I was just curious how much you collected in rent last year.
Pardon me?
How much did they collect in rent? What would the number be using last year's number?
I don't have the total number. It was over $200,000 collected in rent. I can't remember if it's about 250. Again, what you do is you take your 250, you subtract off all utilities and any services that the city doesn't provide, which would be like maybe garbage pickup, because I know they have a dumpster there. I don't know that there'd be any other services. And then you take 10% of that. So let's say if it nets out 160,000, then, you know, 16,000.
So how's the city gonna know what the number is at the end of the year?
We calculate it, and then our auditor comes in, and they verify that we did it correctly, and then that comes to the city at that point.
The audit comes to the city.
Yep, and they'll see it at that point in time. 'Cause our subsidy back from HUD is based on those rents, so we want to make sure those rents are correct as well for ours, as well as for you guys.
Any other
The only
questions?
thing
for
that
Mr. Dewey?
happens with us, I'll just mention too, is, so if HUD is paying us at 100% subsidy, and let's say we get 20,000 to pay you, we'll have 20,000 to pay you. Currently, HUD is giving us only like 82% subsidy, so we would only receive 82% of that money. The rest would have to come out of the Housing Commission. So right now, HUD says if we can operate on 82%.
And then, Mr. Dewey, the amount would be let's say it's $20,000, and would that all go to the city, or would that be distributed to the other taxing jurisdictions?
That should be distributed to your other tax, whoever else you have tax agreements
So
with.
school district and...
School district, usually county, things
County.
like that. Yep, so you would not receive the full portion. I know like in Marysville, we paid them, I think last year was about 25,000. I think they got about 7 or 8 they got to keep. The rest got distributed for all their tax people there.
Thank you.
I'm not sure my question's for Mr. Dewey or not, but it's a question that popped up when I was listening to the presentation and part of Mr. Kleeman's question. Does Palmer Park, do they have to abide by the rental ordinance that we passed a couple years ago?
That's the question, I think, Mr. Kleeman.
I don't think he got an answer.
As far as I'm aware, they would, but I don't, unless there's
I
something.
mean, have they registered and paid their registration fees, and would we know that? I mean, I guess that's the question. I didn't think he got answered, so.
Okay. I can tell you that we do not have to at the city of Port Huron. It came down a decision through HUD and their attorneys that we do not need to, because we are governed by them and also inspected by them. So we have actually higher standards typically than any rental ordinance.
Okay.
So we do not pay those at the city of Port Huron.
Okay.
And other cities as well, I know do not.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Ellery?
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Kufal?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dewey. Roll number 6, Post Administration, Mr. Booth.
Your Honor, I have 2 items this evening. I'd like to start by saying that the city's 2015-16 fiscal audit will begin next Monday. Been working diligently to finish off a few of the items before they come in, so we should be in good shape there. The other item I have, Councilmember Kinsvater at a December meeting had asked about a payment made to 609 Heavy Equipment Repair. The check was 42626 and it totaled $5,543.05. It was not just for one item, it was for the repair of to a 2005 Dodge pickup, cat loader, had some work done on that. And then we had a Ford F-450 that had the fuel tank replaced. So it was actually 3 different invoices that totaled up to the $5,500. Okay, thank you. That's it, Your Honor.
Any questions from Mr. Booth? Mr. Downey, what do you got
I
tonight?
have nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Okay, any city departments out there? What D, boards and commissions? We have no unfinished business. Board number 8, new business. Approved storm sewer CCTV investigation project proposal. Is that Mr. Pangori?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm gonna step back a little bit and talk to you a little bit about the grant program that led to the funding for this particular project that you're going to consider tonight. Back in 2013, on behalf of the city, we made application to MDEQ for a SAW grant. That grant would pay for 90% of the cost to evaluate the condition of your storm sewer system and to develop an asset management plan for your storm system. We submitted that grant, and in early, or actually it was late 2013, you were funded in October of 2015. This past year, we've been working on many of the elements of that particular grant. We have GPS'd in the location of all of your catch basins and manholes. We've inspected all of your catch basins and manholes, and we've developed a set of plans of your storm sewer system, which I don't want to say you didn't have any, but you had, I actually have them with me, and they are so old that pieces of paper are falling out. These are dated in the dates on them are the 1930s and the 1940s. Wow. So we've taken these documents and we've created a new set of plans that then recently was bid out to sewer cleaning and televising contractors to clean and televise your entire stormwater system. And then we'll take those tapes and evaluate the condition of your storm lines. So those bids were received last week on January 10th. There were 10 bidders that bid the project. The low bidder was Allstate Power Vac for a bid in the amount of $352,890. That amount is about $79,000 higher than the grant, the amount that we put in the grant for this activity. At the time we were preparing the grant, because we didn't have very accurate plans of the storm sewer system, we had to estimate the best we could on what the length of the storm piping was. It was a catch-22. We didn't know the length until we got the grant to determine what you had out there. So we did not have enough dollars in the grant to cover the entire cost as it's turning out to clean and televise all of the storm lines in the city. We have two options. The city can fund the balance, the $79,000 out of your funds or the sewer department funds, sewer budget, or we can reduce the amount of the bid and only have the contractor clean and televise the storm lines until they get to the amount that we had in the grant, which was roughly $274,000.
Was it too late to reapply for the grant?
It is, yeah. There was $500 million that was available, and they got probably $700 million in grant applications for this, on this particular program. So we can't go back for any more money. I would really love to see the city clean and televise all of the storm lines and have a whole comprehensive system. The grant, the initial grant, the total cost that we applied for was about $520,000. The grant pays for 90% of that, so the city's match was about $52,000 on the original grant. If you elect to award the bid in the bid amount, and the work ends up totaling that amount once we're completed with the work, then there'll be an additional $79,052 that would be necessary to fund the balance of the money.
And what will this televise? All the sewers?
Just your storm sewers.
Just all storm sewers.
If you recall, Beck's, oh boy, it's probably been 10 years now, maybe longer. We had an S2 grant that paid for the cleaning and televising of all of your sanitary sewer system. That work was done, it was evaluated, and you spent several $1 million to address any of the deficiencies that were found at that time. This program would fund the cleaning and televising and condition assessment of all of your storm lines.
And when's the last time we did that?
I'm not aware that it's ever been done.
Is Allstate part of the same thing as Murray Underground?
No.
There was a correct estimate in the Friday.
Yeah, on my can letter, I have the company's name too many times, and I didn't change it in one spot, sorry.
Where's the Murray Underground System? This here is low bidder.
No, there was a second letter that was sent out, Mr. Kleeman, that changed that. Allstate Power Back is the low bidder.
You scratch this off?
Yes.
So how much would the city have to spend?
In total, with the match of 52,000 and the difference of about 79,000.
About 130,000?
That's correct.
Is there enough in
Does the fund have
Yeah.
enough cash? Currently, I show cash of just under 1.5 million, so yes.
And what about the sewer fund?
That is a sewer fund.
Oh. I think it'd be wise to do the whole storm and not piece it together later.
John, didn't we do this with the cameras and reline some of the storm sewers with rubber?
That was a sanitary, the sewer system.
Just a sanitary?
Yeah.
Okay,
When we did the sewer separation,
yeah.
that was back in the 80s? No,
90s, I
No,
think.
90s.
80s, well, late 80s.
80s, 90s.
early
90s.
Okay, or whatever. They didn't do any drawings or anything on the sewer?
No, they didn't. As a matter of fact, we have all those separation
Did we
plans.
pay these people?
We have all the sewer separation plans, and we
Yeah.
used those, over the past year, we used all of those drawings to create a new set of maps
Okay.
of the storm system.
Don't throw those away.
No, I'm not.
It's like the Constitution, we put them under glass or something.
Yeah, actually, Stu Bogue, who was the city's engineer for many, many years, called me up one day when we were doing the M29 water main project many years ago, and he says, "Come to my house, I have some stuff for you." And these are his, he's got handwritten notes all over them, so I would not
Good.
give them away.
You lost part of it. Might want to tape that one.
Famous last words.
Is there any of this that could be done in-house prior to them coming?
I don't know that the city has the equipment to clean and televise.
You're talking clean, no, I mean like manholes. They obviously all gotta get cleaned out, catch basins.
We do have some catch basin cleaning included in the bid, but not very many. The intent is more to look at the pipes. We've already looked, we've opened up all the structures and did a full evaluation of all the catch basins and manholes. That work has already been done.
It's administration's recommendation, budget-wise, I mean,
I think you want a full system. We have there's two different permits that the city applies for with the DEQ. One's for the sewer system, and then one's for the storm system. And a lot of what they're looking for, as well as many of the other assets that we have, so roads and things like that, they want asset management plans, and this is going to help support that. So
so
I think you need to.
it's your recommendation, proceed with the full amount?
I would do full amount. You have a full system then.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Allstate Power Back's bid for $352,890 in the city, coming up with the remainder of the money.
Support.
All right, the motion's made, supported. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Kleeman?
Yes.
Koopa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Ellery?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Steve. Let's go to B. I have some more appointments for your consideration, gentlemen. The Board of Cemetery Trustees reappoint Jennifer McDonald for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2019. Board of Review reappoint Ralph Schmoling for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2017. Downtown Development Authority reappoint Tim Burns for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2017. Lynn Grover and Dennis Petterno for 4-year terms expiring December 31st, 2020. Library Board reappoint Harriet Stocky, 3-year term, December 31st, 2019. Recreation Commission, reappoint Karen Foley, 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2017. Zoning Board of Appeals, reappoint Jim Beer, Brandon Hill, Joanne Westrick for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2019. I-69 International Trade Corridor, Michigan Development Corporation Board members, reappoint Mike Booth as an alternate, Butch Kinsider, 1-year terms expiring December 30th, 2017. And Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, Mike Laporte, Annette Sturdy, one-year terms expiring December 31st, 2017. All these appointments are our city residents.
Motion to approve.
Any questions? In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I would like to just quickly announce some vacancies. We have beautification vacancies, cemetery, the board of review, we need someone from Ward 2, and we need library board. Please consider those, and if so interested, come to City Hall, call Annette, either way. We'll go to claims and accounts, January 6th and 13th, 2017.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Go to number 10, public comment, public questions. Anybody have anything for the good of the cause?
Yeah, I do. It was brought to my attention that we're cutting the grass during the grass season. The property across from the cemetery, and that property belongs to Cargill Salt. Why are we cutting that grass? Also, we did some of it at St. Clair Inn last year, and we're removing the snow at the St. Clair Inn this year. Who's paying for it?
Okay, in regards to, I'm sure you're addressing it to my attention, the St. Clair Inn has been, had snow removed from the sidewalks twice, and the city did remove the snow, and the owner's being billed back for that while he searches for someone to do it himself. So we've done it twice, and he's been billed, or is in the process of being billed. The grass, along with some other properties, I guess, Mr. Kleeman has given me a list of some things he had questions on. I had indicated I'd give him a written response back. Still working on that. And I don't know if that answers what you're looking for.
Well, I didn't talk to Mr. Kleeman.
No, I'm just, he also has me working on it, so.
Okay,
Is it,
just let me know.
let you know?
please.
Any other public comment or questions? We'll go to number 11, anything from council? We'll go to number 12 then.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Careful going home, everybody, thanks for coming.